Howdy, and welcome to another demonstration of TQA Cloud. In today's demonstration, we're going to take a look at the corrective action process. Corrective actions can often be one of the most cumbersome processes in your quality management system, but it doesn't have to be. A few things that typically make it difficult. One, it's hard to keep single track of all of the paperwork. You might hand a copy of the corrective action to one foreman, hand another copy to an inspector, and then you've got to reconcile everything at the end. Never mind how hard it is to keep up to date with everything. If you want to follow up with something, you've got to type an email, and generally it takes about 3 to 5 minutes, and you have to copy and paste all of the data from the corrective action into the email. Well, we've got a solution for that as well. So we're going to take a look here at a few things with corrective actions. Let's look at the corrective action reports under the QMS records section of the system. So let's just go ahead and take a look at a completed corrective action. You notice here it has a status of complete effectiveness demonstrated. We also have the option for complete pending effectiveness, and these of course are the typical statuses of a corrective action. So we'll look at number 10 here. Number 10 shows to be complete with effectiveness demonstrated. So let's see what that entails. First, this is our general corrective action form. Now yours may vary. This is our typical one. So to start with, we're going to choose what type of corrective action we have. For this one, it's just a standard typical corrective action. We can identify the person that issued it, the responsible person to take care of the corrective action. It's worth noting here that if you are the responsible person, you will receive an email when the corrective action is initiated. In addition, 7 days prior to the due date, you'll start getting daily emails. The beautiful thing about these emails is that they contain a hyperlink directly to this exact form. The very first time that I rolled out one of these systems, we had a one-shop foreman. He refused to use the computer, hated using the computer. Truth be told, he only logged in once a year to check his insurance information. Never could get anything out of him. However, the first day the system was rolled out, he was one of the first recipients of a corrective action notice, which of course went to his email. Now this shop foreman, while he might not have liked working on the computer, he did enjoy sitting at his desk on his cell phone. So he received the email notification on his cell phone, opened up the hyperlink, took him straight to the corrective action, and within an hour, the shop foreman that notoriously never completed corrective actions, completing the corrective action from his phone within an hour. But we'll continue looking here. So we identify the point of origination. In this case, it was from an internal audit. We identify a due date, identify the work area or department, and customer, purchase order number, project number, all valuable details that you may later want to use to look up this corrective action. So here we have noted that a corrective action for a training procedure wasn't in place. So what we'll do is we'll take a look here at the immediate corrective details. So we assigned a due date. We assigned and then identified a date that was actually corrected. And when trainings were done per requirement, and there's an attachment here that we can view. We'll look at the root cause. The necessary training just had not yet been created. The root cause was not detected because there was never a previous audit for this particular training. So we'll go into preventative action details. A new annual training was added. And they will identify that the trainings were completed and records stored in the training log. Now one thing here that I'm going to complete with y'all is a new feature that we've added. This is not required, but it is useful. One of the difficulties with the 2015 edition of ISO 9001, as well as some other standards, is accounting for risk. And there are a variety of ways that we can account for risk. This is one that I particularly like. This fits perfectly well with a FEMA if your organization chooses to utilize the tool. So we identify the severity. In this case, we'll say that this is a very minor severity. Occurrence, we'll take a look here at this, and we'll identify this as a marginal occurrence. And then detection, we'll identify this as remote. It was very difficult for us to identify. And now at a later point in time, we can analyze these and potentially add it to a risk matrix. But at least in the interim, we are accounting for the risk in this and how we identify a solution. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and save this corrective action. And you see it is updating with the server. Now, if on the other hand, this were an incomplete corrective action, one that someone's still working on, and I needed to get some information out to them, well, this follow-up comments field is exactly the tool for that. Any comments I type in here will automatically be emailed to our responsible person, along with basic details such as the header here of our corrective action, and of course a hyperlink directing them to this particular corrective action. And all of this takes about 10 seconds to complete, versus the typical 3 to 5 minutes it might take to craft a well-written email and to adequately and properly and accurately copy all of the information into Outlook or any other tool you use for sending email within your organization. But one thing you might be thinking here is, Kyle, this is good. This looks good. Looks like it'll work. But I can't send this to my customer because we've got some personal information here and this for management. My customer just doesn't need to see this. And you're right. So what we'll do is we'll switch over here to the printer-friendly view. And in the printer-friendly view, you'll notice we are perfectly printer-friendly. The goal is to make the corrective action process as simple, easy to use as humanly possible, keeping everything nicely secured in one secure location. But we'll go back to the log for a moment. So here we're in the log. These are obviously complete effectiveness demonstrated, but we want to work on the open CARs. So we're here on open CARs. We can filter by due date, see everything that is past due. So now we've got an idea there of kind of what we're working with. So what we can do from then is open up each of the CRs as required and utilize that follow-up comments field again. I honestly used to spend about 4 to 5 hours a week just tracking down folks that were late on corrective actions. It's not an issue anymore. You can simply fill out the comments form, send them an email, they've got a hyperlink, they can edit it, and you get an email when a corrective action is completed. It's all automated, and seamless and easy to use. Look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.